Welcome back to the shooting channel and Happy New Year to all you viewers, and thank you for supporting us in 2021. This film is going to be the top 2 budget guns of 2021. So the first one is the Yield It Sporter. The reason why this is really good is it's very high in the comb. The price is under £800, £850 depending which one you go for. The stock dimensions are really high. They do this particular model in adjustable comb and fixed comb. They've got the recoil pads like a normal £1,500 gun. They're multi-choke. These are quite a heavy gun, so if you're looking for a slightly heavier gun, this is a great gun if that budget is what you're looking for. The other gun that is in the top budget guns of 2021 is the ATA Sporter. Now this particular gun has been on the market now for a few years. They're produced, or they're brought into the UK by a Sportsman gun centre. They are sold in most decent shooting schools and gun shops. They look like very similar to a Beretta Action. Generally, they're a Turkish manufacturer, the same as Yield It, but they are a good all-round gun. The only thing I would say with these that is kind of puts it against it is they are quite flat in the comb. So they're very low in the comb compared to the Yield Its. So if you are very, very tall, the Yield Its will probably work a lot better for you because they are that little bit higher in the comb. But again, you've got multi-choke, you've got ventilated barrels, ventilated ribs, recoil pad. They are just a good all-round gun for somebody to start with in the career of shooting. And both these two guns retail at under £800. They're both made in Turkey. Okay, I think potentially the Yield Its have been around for a lot longer. The Yield Its are a little bit higher in the comb, but the ATA is just as good gun. And these both really have taken off in the last year. So you've got two good, inexpensive guns that really suits the budget shooter, or if you haven't got a great deal of money to spend. Now we've come down here along Siberia and we've come to try both of these two guns. So I'm going to give it a shoot and tell you what they're like. Thanks to Fiocchi for giving us their cartridges. Today I'm going to try the Super Blacks. Let's see what they're like. I'm going to start with shooting the ATA first. We're going to shoot a couple of pairs with it, 2 or 3 pairs with it, and then I'm going to talk about the differences, what it's like, and then I'll shoot the Yield Its, and then we'll go and do another stand with it as well, just to give you an idea of what they're both like. Pull. So that's 7 out of 10. The ATA, it is a sporter, but it's quite light. So when you're actually shooting crosses with it or anything like that, you have to kind of steady yourself rather than throwing the gun all over the sky. So it actually handles very similar to an Italian style gun. Like everyone thinks it's a copy of a Beretta or looks like a Beretta, it actually handles quite similar to a Beretta. So that's one thing that I would say that's a tick in their box, is they've tried to look at other guns and they've taken bits out of other guns to try and put the best bits into this gun. I'm going to say, for me, it's a bit low in the comb. I do have to, when I'm mounting that gun, I do have to slightly lift my head off the gun because it's a bit low in the comb. But if I was a lot shorter, a bit more fatter in the face, it would probably suit me slightly better. The good thing about it, no recoil at all. Recoil wise, I'm shooting 28 gram cartridges. Recoil wise, doesn't hurt me at all. It's just a good all-round inexpensive gun. So if you've only got sort of £600–700 to spend, have a look at this gun. If you can't afford to just go up to the Bretta Browning mark, a fantastic gun to start with. Now let's try the Yield It. This Yield It, it's got the adjustable comb. Again, straight away, it's a little bit heavier. So in theory, it should handle slightly more like a Maruku MK38, that sort of thing. Pull. 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 Again, it's quite a lot heavier than the ATA. I'm going to be completely honest, these two guns, if you look at Bretta Browning, they're going very much to that style of gun. This gun, compared to the ATA, bigger in the action there. So it's got more like a Maruku Browning action. It's higher in the comb. And again, it's a lot heavier. So you don't throw it around all over the place. So if you like a heavy gun, something that just moves nicely, this is probably the one for you. But both of these two guns are fantastic value for money. Neither of them recoil at all. I'm using 28 gram cartridges, neither of them recoil at all. For the money, you can't knock these two guns. Really, really well built guns. Now let's go and shoot one more stand with them. Over the next sort of week or so, I know we started last week, we're going to talk to you about what guns are promoted, what guns are really big and grown, what manufacturers have grown in 2021. And these two, if you're looking for something that is inexpensive, under £800, you want to get into the sport and you haven't got a great deal of money, look at these two guns. They're really, really great, fantastic guns. And they're well built, so if you're only going to use them a little bit, once, twice a month, they're great guns to have a look at. But don't forget, go to your local shooting school. Most proper shooting schools will have these as demo guns, or they'll have second-hand ones for you to try. So go to your local shooting school, book a lesson, and try and get the one of these two that fits you within your budget. Any decent shooting school will help you and get you on the path to your journey into shooting. So if there's any questions about what we've done or anything you want, please comment below and we will do our best to help you to the gun that fits you the best. Now let's come to another stand. So on this one, I've got a couple of going away birds. I'm going to start this one. I'm going to start with the Yield It Sporter, have a talk about it, shoot a few pairs, see what we all think about this one. So I've got two going away birds. Just going to try and shoot 4 or 5 pairs with the Yield Its now. Pull. 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 Missed one on there, 9 out of 10. I actually, personally, myself, I prefer the Yield Its to the ATA just because I do like that little bit heavier of the gun. And if you're the sort of person that's quite tall, quite big, you might prefer that first. But don't forget what I say, go to your local shooting school, go and try them, book yourself a lesson. With this, even with getting you a skeet vest, you can still end up paying less than £1,000 if you go to your local shooting school and you can get a gun that fits you right, you can have a lesson and get some basic kit for less than £1,000. Best way of buying your first gun. So, now I'm going to try the ATA. Pull. 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 So again, that was the ATA. One thing I am just going to show you is I am just going to show you what I say about the comb height on these guns. So I'm just going to point the guns at the camera. So I'm just going to walk out the stand just so you can understand where we're coming from with this gun. So the gun is empty. I'm going to mount the gun into the camera. So if you look, my eye is below here. And if I do the same thing with the yield its, my eye is higher. So don't forget that don't matter whether you're buying a budget gun or whether you're buying a £1,500 Beretta or Browning or going up, the biggest thing you need to think about is the comb height, what your size is and the comb height. If you don't see above this rib, then you're not going to hit anything, especially when it comes to high driven stuff. So that was the top 2 budget guns of 2021. The ATA Sporter and the Yield It Sporter for under £800. I hope you've enjoyed this film. Please like and subscribe. Please comment below on anything you see in this film. I'd love to hear anyone's comment on if they bought one of these 2 guns and what they think of it and where you bought them. If you did my advice and bought your gun from your local shooting school and went and tried them, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.